Today, I want to talk a little bit about how we model the lives we want in children. A few weeks ago, there was a little incident at the grocery store where I saw a little boy actually stealing some stuff. Just plain out and simple, he was stealing. He was taking these little items over in the pharmacy area and sticking them under his shirt. He turned and noticed that I saw him. And I just kind of gave him one of those looks, that teacher or the adult look like, you really know you shouldn't be doing that. Well, his mother walked up and she seemed a little perturbed and she said, so what's the problem? And I said, well, he's stealing things. And she goes, oh, my child wouldn't steal anything. And I said, ask him to lift his shirt. Like that. And she goes, I don't have to do anything. And I said, well, we could ask management to ask him to lift his shirt. And she looked at him and she said, put it back, just like that, as if she knew that he had done this before. Now, he couldn't have been any more than 6 or 7 years old. And he lifted his shirt and he took the 2 or 3 items out from under his shirt that he had. And she put them back on the shelf and she goes, there, is that fine with you? And I just kind of looked at her. I gave her a look like, I can't believe this. And I just kind of went, whatever. And just walked away. But that has stuck with me because, as an educator, I used to hear all the time from parents, I don't know where he got that from, or where did he learn that? The sort of things that as adults, not just as educators, but as adults, we look at them and we go, really? Really? But the whole incident made me think about something that happened when I was very young. When we lived in California, and I think I told you about when we were younger, we lived in California for about 8 or 9 months. My dad decided that that was not the atmosphere or the place that he wanted to raise his kids in a big city, so we moved back to Oklahoma. But there was something that happened one day that has stuck with me forever. And it's one of those ways that my mother was modeling for us what she wanted us to believe in. She had sent me and my 2 sisters, Sherry and Gail, to the grocery store to get a few items. And there was this little grocery store, corner grocery store just up the street from our house. And she'd sent us up there with a specific few items to get and the specific money to go with it. No more, no less. She knew exactly how much it cost. So we go up to the store and we get these few items that we're supposed to get and we go back home. Well, when we get back home and we're putting stuff up and so forth, my little sister Gail, you remember Gail, the really cute Gail that everyone liked to hug and kiss, and so forth. She hands my mom this package of Kool-Aid. And she says, can we have some Kool-Aid? Just that simple. And I didn't think anything of it. My sister Sherry didn't think anything of it. My mom looks at her and she says, we don't have any Kool-Aid. Where'd you get that Kool-Aid? And Gail goes, I got it from the store. Now, immediately, I knew that Kool-Aid was not on the list. I knew that we hadn't bought any Kool-Aid. And my first thought was, oh my God, she stole that Kool-Aid. Just picked it right up. Well, Gail had to be, I don't know, maybe 4, 5 years old. So she probably didn't think stealing. She had no concept of stealing. She just saw something that she liked and she took it. Well, my mom, I could see it all over her face. She was upset. She was embarrassed and upset. And she said, you're taking it back. You're going to take it back and you're going to apologize. Now, my little sister has this frown on her face like, I don't know what I did wrong. And then, of course, my mom turns to me and my sister Sherry and she said, how dare you let her steal? How dare you bring embarrassment on the family? And we're going, because we didn't even know. And we're trying to tell mom, we didn't even know. And my mom said, you're supposed to watch your sister. Now she's in trouble. And now we have to go and apologize. And I'm thinking, it's a package of Kool-Aid. Thank goodness I didn't say that because my mom would have let me have it. But in my mind, I'm thinking, it's just a little package of Kool-Aid. Now, you have to think about the time period. That was around 1967, 68. Kool-Aid had to cost 3 cents, 5 cents. A package, something like that. But my mom was trying to make a point here. First of all, we don't steal. It doesn't matter how much it costs, how little the item. You don't take what isn't yours. So all the way up to this little corner store, my mom is doing that talking, that we don't steal in this family. That is not what we do. We don't take what isn't ours. We work hard for it. We work for everything that we get and we pay for it. She's giving this talk and we're going, yes, ma'am, all the way. Well, so far, my little sister Gail is not quite getting it. She just thinks we're going back to the store. We're going to get something else. She is not getting it. She's so young. Until we get back to the store. And we walk in the store and my mom knows the store manager and so forth, or the clerk. And I'll just call him Mr. Smith. And she says, Mr. Smith, I am so sorry. My youngest daughter here stole this package of Kool-Aid from you. And I'm coming to pay for it. And she's going to apologize. Well, remember, Gail is this cute little thing. And Sherry and I are sitting there looking and we got big tears in our eyes. We are so embarrassed now and so forth. And my mom's sitting there kind of patting her foot. She's got on the dress, flat shoes and everything. And the man looks down at Gail, sweet little Gail, who looks up at him and smiles. And she says, we getting some more Kool-Aid? And my mom said, no. You need to apologize. You took this. This was not yours. It's like taking a toy that's not yours. It's not yours. Well, immediately, Gail's eyes fill with tears. And she starts to cry. And she says, I'm sorry, I didn't mean it. And of course, the man is looking at this cute little girl. And he says to my mother, Mrs. Perry, it's okay. She can have it. And my mom says, no, she can't have it. My kids do not steal. We do not steal. And I mean, she's looking this man straight in the eye, and you can see she's just so upset that a child of hers stole something, even though it was this little child that had no concept of stealing, not really. And the man goes, okay. He goes, I guess, that'll be 5 cents. So instead of my mom handing the nickel to him, she gives it to my sister Gail. She says, give the man his money and tell him you're sorry. So Gail reaches up and gives it to him. She goes, I'm so sorry. I won't do it anymore. I promise. And we're all just so emotional at this time. But my mom, no emotion except for, kind of anger. That look, she's just a little upset. And the man, I couldn't believe it. He looked like he was going to cry. He had these big water in his eyes, and I thought, is this man gonna cry? But Gail gives him the nickel, and Mom gives her the Kool-Aid, and she says, thank you, sir. She says, I will make sure that my children never steal anything from your store again. And so she's going back home. As we're walking back home, my mom gives Gail a little swat on her behind, and she says, you gonna do that again? Gail's like, no, ma'am, just kind of rubbing her little rear end. No, ma'am. And then my mom looks at us, and I'm thinking, okay, now we're going to get swatted. And she says, and don't you ever not watch your sister again. Ever. And I'm thinking, here it goes again. Donna Kay, you should have known better. But, that stayed with me. And I know that stayed with my sister Gail and my sister Sherry all these years, because we learned that, first of all, you don't steal things that are not yours. If it's not yours, you don't take it. And that all came rushing back to me when I saw the reaction that this mother had for her child. For all I know, she had him do it. But the fact that she seemed angry with me, not embarrassed, she didn't seem embarrassed. She seemed angry with me that I was pointing out to her that her child was stealing. So I think, especially in this day of life, we need to model for our children how we want them to behave. If we want a family, a community of people who do the right thing, we need to make sure that our children are doing the right thing. If we want them to be very polite to those around them, whether they be an adult or another child, we need to model that for them. And when they don't do it, we need to point it out. We need to sit down and have a talk with them. We don't always have to spank them or whatever, but we need to point out to them. Otherwise, we cannot say, I don't know where he gets that, or I don't know how come she's doing that. We know why they're doing it. because we allow it, because we don't tell them it's wrong. So, having thought about that, I think about all the times that people talk about family values. These are the family values we're talking about, not something that some political person is out there talking about, but what we do right here in our own homes, in our own communities. If we want good communities, if we want good homes, we have to teach our children in the way we want them to. So that's the story